Alright, I'm getting ready to see if I can't restore this double-bladed axe. It's KnotKlipper, warranted, so I think that's a fairly quality stamp. Not sure if you can see that. So I don't remember where this came from. At one point I had started just kind of trying to clean it up a little bit, and then I hadn't gone any further. So today we're going to work on this thing. I'm gonna use some sandpaper instead of a grinder and see how much of this top surface rust I can clean up. I've got some 180, some 100 grit, some 80 grit, 180 grit, and some 320 grit. It's automotive sandpaper. This stuff's pretty old. I don't know if this 320 is going to stick, but we'll give it a go. You know, one thing I'm noticing is a lot of my tools I bought in my 20s and 30s. You know, it's 25 years old. I pulled my DA sander out and the pad has disintegrated. So we'll have to get a new pad. I've got I think it's more of a grinding style pad, but we'll give it a go and see if we can't get this cleaned up. I got a new axe handle on order, and we're not putting this thing back to show quality. I just want to put it back in work and use it camping, bring it back to life. So that's our goal today, is see if we can't get this cleaned up, get these edges rounded back out and sharpened down, so it's a useful tool again. Trying to knock this old handle out of there. Probably right up against the bottom of the vise now. Yeah, but it's coming out. We'll get her knocked out of there. Yeah, I've got it crooked now. Got it wedged again. There she goes. Alright, we got her cleaned out. So the bottom should be the thicker end, and so the top is flat. So if we remember that when we get the new handle, sorry, the bottom should be the smaller end, the top should be the larger end, so that when you put your handle up in and put your wedges in, it keeps the top a little wider. So let's go ahead and see if we can clean this up with just sanding and not have to grind. I don't want a bunch of grinder marks in it if I don't have to. Not going to be pretty. I mean, you know, I'm not doing a showpiece. I want something workable, but I want it clean, looking good. So we'll try 80 grit on the old DA sander here. Hopefully this sandpaper is probably pushing 20 years old too, so hopefully it's got enough stickum left on it to function. Well, it ain't perfect, but for what I'm doing, that'll do. And I do have some rust treatment chemical. I may come and hit some of these real pitted spots after I'm all done, just to make sure that that rust stays at bay. But that cleaned up quite well. We'll go ahead and do the other side here, and then we'll do the top and bottom, and we'll start lining up how we're gonna grind. And that's fine for now. How we're going to mark these ends and grind those down. All right, so that cleaned up quite well. It's a KnotKlipper, if you can see that, and it's from Man Edge Tool Company, Lewistown, Pennsylvania, USA. So my understanding is that should be a fairly quality axe head when it was made. I would assume it's fairly old, and some Yahoo decided to I guess split rocks with the darn thing or something. I don't know. That's pretty amazing damage. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find the center of the eye here, as close there too as I can. So it's just shy of 3 inches. So we'll center that up, and we'll find a center mark here, and then we'll find, and I think, being as this is a little flat on the top and lower on the bottom, this is 2 5/8. So I think what I had thought was I would do right at half, but I think I'm actually going to go a little lower. Let's go, oh, what's the difference here? It looks like about a 1/2 inch. Why don't we go, difference between the bottom of the axe and the tip down here is a 1/2 inch. So why don't we go, if it's 2 5/8, why don't we go an inch and, let's go an 1 5/8. So that will be a little off center to the, let me get a pin. It won't be perfect, but not here for perfect. And I've never done this particular project before, anything like this. Just kind of thinking my way through with other items I've worked on. So if we hold that in the center and we work this out, we'll find the shortest spot for this side. And then let's put a mark on. Let's mark that right there. And let's see where that is on this side. We'll make a match. Yeah, so this side is a lot worse for wear. So let's hold this right here on the center. Try and hold that as straight up and down as we can. And that's going to be straight up and down. Straight, Fred. Straight up and down. Okay, we'll try to do the same on this side. Get it as close as possible. I've seen also that if I understand, some double-bladed axes had 2 different blade profiles. One was fairly slim, and the other one was a more aggressive V. I'm sure if there's anybody out there that knows more about axes that can explain that or validate that, please throw something in the chat. I'm just going to make both sides as close to the same as possible. This is going to be used for camping. So I'm really after probably something that's fairly narrow like this is here on both sides. Relatively sharp, doesn't have to shave the hair off my arm or anything. It's just you know, for splitting small campfire wood, or maybe chopping up some limbs or things like that. So I just like to see just like to see the old girl get back in action. So we've got it marked. I am going to use my a 1.5 horsepower grinder and try and grind down square to that line without getting it too hot. I don't want to mess up any temper that might be on this, so I'm going to take it slow and easy. If it seems to start get too warm, I might get a little bucket of water or something to quench it in. I don't really want to quench it either, but just to kind of help keep the heat down. So let's see how it goes. We'll move you over to the grinder and we'll give it a go. Already looks way better. I am sure there are some axe masters rolling over in their graves right now with the way I'm doing this. I don't know, maybe not. Just kind of trying to use common sense, and it surely couldn't be worse than it was. So, well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe it could be, but we'll keep going here and get it shaped, and then we'll see how I can sharpen it, because that is something else I have not done. I've sharpened axes plenty, but not from something that didn't already have the proper starting edge on it. So cross fingers. And it's not getting overly hot at all. Like I say, just trying to use common sense. You know, I don't want to make it sound like I don't have any idea what I'm doing. It's you know, it's just, it may not be the most proper way from somebody that is a true skilled axe restore expert, but I think we're doing okay from the little bit I've seen. We'll get a profile back on it, and then we'll work on real carefully and slowly putting a bevel on here, and I think we'll be fine. I think it'll turn out just fine for what we're doing. Good enough. So the way I was holding that, I was not getting a square grind. That's why I'm going at a little bit more of an angle here. With this and this platform, I was getting I don't know, like a 15 degree or maybe less. It wasn't grinding square, so we got it closer there, holding this up a little bit. And I think we've got it pretty close to the shape. I think the shape's looking pretty good. So now we're going to just take a pause and think a little bit about how we want to start putting this bevel on. And I think I may do that with my pneumatic grinder. We may try that, because I don't want to use the side of the grinding wheel, and I don't know that I have a surface that I want to try. Yeah, I think we'll try it with my pneumatic grinder and see if I can. It's got about a 4 or 5 inch solid pad on it, so see if I can't keep it fairly flat and level and do it that way. Well, this grinder it's really more automotive probably than heavy metal work. It's not really doing what I had hoped here. I'll be at this for the rest of my life and 400,000 of these grinding discs later. So it did clean up. I went ahead and did the rest of the surface over with it. I didn't get a bunch of grinding marks in it like I was anticipating. It's hard enough that it just kind of polished it up a little bit better than the sandpaper. So I like the way that looked. I did all sides and top and bottom. And so I'm going to get out my 4-inch grinder and see if I can bring this edge in a little bit, both sides and then both ends. And then I've got a belt sander on a 90-degree mount, my dad's old belt sander, and we'll see if we can't use that, because that'll give us a nice flat edge with that 4-inch wide belt sander in that mount. That hopefully we can put a nice edge on here, and then do some final sharpening with a stone. So we'll give that a go. Okay, so like I said, just trying to rough it in, and when I was on the grinder, I kind of tried to put a center line in here. So what I'm doing is just working my way down slowly, trying to keep that angle as close as possible. So I got to work, this top, this 2/3 of the blade a little bit more, and just keep working that slow and easy, and try and keep this bevel the same across here. And as long as I can get that fairly close and then get both sides, I think with the belt sander I should be able to clean that up nice and flat, and have a nice edge on here. So it's going to take a while. I'm going to go ahead and just stop filming for now, because that's going to be a lot of redundant time, and we'll bring you back when we get ready to put her on the belt sander. So just one more thought. So I think that how this should really be done is have some type of a fairly wide sanding stone, a spinning stone, where you can flip this blade upside down. So this stone would actually be under here, and come up against, and you would have some type of fixture that would set the angle, and then you could work this back and forth to get the right angle and a nice flat, clean, appropriate bevel on here. I just don't have those tools. So that's part of how Fred does it. I'm trying to do a project like this with what I have, safely, and provide something that is useful and gets the project done. Like I say, I'm not building this to sell it. I'm not building it to be a show axe. I want to be able to take the old thing out camping and give it some life back. So this is how I'm going at it. I'm sure there's more appropriate ways, there's better ways, there's no question. But so with the tools that I have at hand, and with the experience that I have just doing other projects, I think we can make this a nice, useful, safe tool again in the future. I think folks out there want to try similar kinds of things. I'm just showing you how I do it, and giving you ideas, and maybe you can take some of these projects on that you hadn't otherwise planned to do, and find an alternate way to accomplish them, because we don't always all have 5 tons of tools. I'm pretty lucky. I got a lot of stuff from my father after he passed away. I've done a lot of my own DIY. I've got a lot of my own tools as well, so I'm fairly set up. But somebody starting out, you can start a lot of these little projects with fairly inexpensive tools, and if it's a hobby or something that that sticks, and you can buy more expensive tools in the future. You know, you can start with Harbor Freight stuff. I've got some Harbor Freight stuff. I've got a ceiling hoist that I've used with my truck. And, you know, if you wanted to buy that ceiling hoist and use it in a business every day, it'd last a week. But I use it every couple of years to lift a thing or two. It should last me the rest of my life. So, you know, you gotta think about what your tool's use is going to be. But anyway, I'm kind of on a rant now. But we'll bring you back. I just wanted to mention that I know that this is probably not the most appropriate way to do this, but I think we can get there safely and have a nice, useful tool in the end. All right, well, there's the old belt sander. It's my dad's. He's been gone about 5 years, so this thing probably hasn't seen action in at least 10 or more. I pulled her out of mothballs at Mom's here a couple of weeks ago for this project, so we'll see how it works. But we've got the axe blade worked down. We've got a fairly decent profile started here. Yeah, it's not smooth. What I'm hoping is with the belt sander I can get this flat on both sides, but we've got it shrunk down fairly well. I may have gone a little bit thin on this side, but we'll see. So yeah, we'll give it a go here and see what we got. Okay, so I think what I want to do, just to try and make this even, I am going to have a small clamp. Let's see if I got a small C-clamp. Two, and I do have two little tiny cute C-clamps. So we will put them on this way. We hope. Oh, crying in the beer. Got a bracket in the way of being able to crank that up easily. Or quickly anyway. So what we'll do is we'll get this one tight so that it stays. That should be, that way I can run right up like that. Okay, so I will get a square. Another example of inexpensive tools. I think these are little 99-cent C-clamps from Harbor Freight that I grabbed one day, and actually I was using them for some radio stuff, just to kind of hold some things together while I was out playing radio. But I found them so helpful for just little odd things that I've got a couple of different sizes now. Just a little cheapy C-clamp. I mean, they're not designed to hold anything great, but something like this for just marking, giving myself kind of like a little, well, that moves quite a bit, but It's at 90 degrees. So, okay, we will try that and see how that goes to give us a, as you can see, it's starting to clean up that grinding that I was doing. So we'll just kind of work it here. Oh, that's interesting. I can set it right on the, well, let's go with the way it was for right now. So let's start it back up. And that is why you wear safety glasses. And that was my fault. I tipped that blade back into it and it caught that, see it, that I tipped that blade back too far and caught that seam on that sanding disc. That was 120 grit. Well, that's a bummer. So yeah, actually it was working quite well. It was taking that down just like I had hoped, making it nice and flat and straight. Well, relatively straight. There's a little curve in it, and that's fine, because when I put the edge on it, that'll be fine. So I've got one more belt. We'll put that on, and I'm going to unplug this from the switch before I start lift. We just pull, yep, that just needed a little elbow grease. All right. I'm going to put this belt on the other way. So the other belt was on like this, and I caught that lip. So I'm going to put the belt on this way, so the lip is on the bottom as it comes around. Oh man, so I got to turn this, get this out of the way. Oh, wait a minute. Telling me you can't put a blade on it without moving the whole darn thing. Okay, that's what they're telling us. We got to move the whole darn shooting caboodle. Brilliant. Okay, well, that's fine. All right, so yeah, so we're still going the right way. This belt's been flat for about 20 years. Not playing well. We'll get it on there though. We will get her on there though. This is a 50 grit, so I may have to go at it a little bit and order another belt, a little bit less aggressive, but we'll see what we get with this. We'll make sure we get that pretty straight. Looks pretty good. Lock that down. Slide this back. Okay, so now we lost our spacing, but I think all the way, yeah, all the way leaves plenty. It leaves a gap. That's just fine. Make sure we're the same on the other side. All right, so also in my infinite wisdom, I had a thought that putting another C-clamp on this side square would give me the benefit of flipping it over. But these C-clamp is, what, 2.5, 3 inches too close. So that geometry isn't going to work at all. So we're just going to get this one out of our way because it isn't going to do us any good. All right, so let's get this tightened back up on both sides. We're still clear. Plug it back in. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I would say it'll do. It's pretty even, and with the tools I've got, I mean, obviously I'm going to need to take a stone and finalize the edge and clean it all up real nice. But man, I tell you, that's a whole lot better than I expected. I still got some grinding marks, but I'm going to call that good. This other side is a little bit thicker here. I didn't grind that as quite as thin, I think, but I think those using that C-clamp to try and hold my angles as close as I could, I think we got a pretty good shot at having a decent axe here once it's all sharpened up and we got us a handle. So I'm pretty darn pleased with that. And you know, anybody have comments and give me other ideas. I mean, I'm sure this is not the way a master axe craftsman would do it, but with the tools I have, I think that turned out mighty good. A little bit of patience, a little bit of ingenuity, and yeah, we're going to put this thing back out in the woods for use. Get the old KnotKlipper chopping wood again. That old KnotKlipper going. It is mighty close. It's moving all over it, so close. Don't sit on it, but we'll just go at it real easy. Alright, so I doubt you can see this in here, but basically the top of this, there's space between the axe head and the handle. So the top of it I have sanded down enough. I know it's got some rubbing on there, but when I'm getting into this, apparently the way I'm sanding this is still thicker, so it's sticking here and pushing this closed. So I was just going to focus a little more. Yeah, that's upside down. I just wanted to make sure, but there's no burr there, so that shouldn't be causing me a problem. There might be a little bit there. Maybe I can take a file to that real quick. So basically got a little burr right here on the side the handle's going in. I'll just take a half round file and make sure that's good and clean. And this isn't sharp yet. I haven't sharpened it, so that's better. That side seems okay, but we'll go ahead and give it a little go as well. The inside, it's got a little surface rust, but doesn't really seem to be anything inside there causing any real problems, but we'll give it another go just real quick. I think I got to get some better rubber feet for my sander stand too, or clamp it down. I just about lost her off the end of the table. Oh yeah, that's we're getting in there now. Okay. Whoop. Yet again. All right, we're still close enough, I think. All right. Yeah, so we'll keep working down the lower part here. We should be able to get this set today. That sounded a little odd. Look at that. Just like it's supposed to be that way. Nice. I think plug this. I think my belt is sliding over, I think is what happened here. Get that centered back up a little better. I bet that's what happened. And we'll plug her back in. I mean, that's a pretty solid mechanical switch. I'd have to really do something goofy to turn that on while I'm working on it, but things happen. All right, so let me see. Actually, no, we gotta leave that for now because I gotta get the wedge. Well, looks like I'm out of the standard wood glue, but I've got this flooring installation glue, which is good for wet surfaces. Yeah, we'll give it a go. These two wedges. All right. And this is a little too wide. out of the way. Air hose out of the way. Wrap this up a little bit here. See if we can't get this started. Make sure the width is good. This thing squeezed down pretty good, so hopefully we can get this to go in there. There we go. Squeeze that a little bit tighter. Just get down below the bulge here. Split it. Came loose again. Oh, I forgot the glue after all that. Well, that's how Fred does it. Anyway, after all that, I forgot the dang glue. So, wedge in here a little crooked. Alright, well, dang it. That is not exactly how I wanted her to go. But let's get us a saw. We'll cut this off. That's a real bummer. I forgot that dang glue. Well, worst case, the wedge comes out. We'll buy another wedge and use the glue next time. I'm going to leave about 3/16 sticking out here. What is going on with me and this vise today? I don't want to mar that handle all up, so I'm being gentle. I've really got to get some different jaws on my vise or some kind of an insert or a piece to cover those jaws when I'm doing wood or softer materials. Okay. It's not perfectly straight, but we have a sander here. We'll clean her up that we unplugged. Unplugged for everybody's safety. Made it safer. Can't even run it. Warning, cancer and reproductive harm. From a wood handle? Must be the lacquer finish, which will be sanded off anyway. Oh, I I don't think I did that. Well, I don't know what I would have done that on unless I did it in the vise. Dang it. Well, we'll sand her down, and we're going to sand it down anyway and put some oil, linseed oil or something on it where this lacquer, and this is rough as a cob up here, but yeah, I guess you don't really do that much up there. It's smooth throughout here. But anyway, let's get her done. Came out pretty good. I got that wedge a little bit further off on this side than this side, but hey, I don't think that's going to make any real difference. It'll be fine. Seems nice and tight. Fit down on there nice and tight. So let's see, they sent 2 metal wedges too, and they say that those should go in at an angle. So let's see if we can put those in. And I suppose a ball peen hammer probably isn't the most perfectest for this, but looks fairly well centered. No, we got to get us a actual hammer here. Yeah, I bet you I boogered that up in the vise. Dang it. I didn't inspect it that closely. Didn't inspect it that closely when it came in. Not too excited. It looked okay. But yeah, I bet I boogered that up in the vise here. I don't know how. What the heck would have gouged it like that? Alright. My framing hammer. Yeah, that ain't sliding around now. Okay. Not my day. This is what happens when you get too big a hurry, too excited. Slow down. Think your way through things. Come on. Probably just put it on the floor. Bugs me. Alright, it's fixable. It's all fixable. I am happy with that. That is nice. I gotta sharpen it up. I bet it'd split a hunk of wood just like that. it's sharp enough it would split. There's no question. I mean, it would split wood, but it isn't going to cut wood. So, but and it's got a burr. But nice. I like it. I like it a lot. It'll do. Damn near perfect. That's what we're shooting for here, is damn near perfect. Given the tools, the fact that I'd never done it before, just kind of figured it out. And I think it's safe. I think it's sturdy. I don't think that head's coming off. As long as I treat it good, it ought to last a long time. So, there you go. Give you a nice close look here. I don't know if you can see, but this all got boogered up. I don't know how I got that boogered up. I don't know. It doesn't look like something I'd have done with the vise. I don't know. But anyway, we'll sand it down. We'll clean it up. I'm going to probably put a rope frap over this anyway, just to kind of protect it. But we'll bring you back then. The old KnotKlipper is damn near ready for service. Hey, if y'all like this video, check out these videos on other projects. Leave me a comment, check out my other links in the description. Check back often or subscribe for future videos from How Fred Does It. That's how I did it. Thanks all. Take care.